welcome back. So today I'm going to be talking about a lens that I recently rented, and that was the Canon RF 85mm f1.2. This lens I rented from Lens Pro to Go was outstanding. I used it in multiple different photo shoots, from volleyball, football, to construction, class, pouring a sidewalk or a cart path at the golf course, to a veteran ceremony. And having that 1.2 separation matched up with the 85mm focal length, this lens is amazing. I've always liked 85mm as a focal length. I used to shoot a lot of sports with an 85 last year with the EF 1.8. It's a cheaper lens, but it was always super sharp and super fast for sports. So since I sold that off, moving towards the RF glass, I wanted to try out a lens that I don't know if I would spend the money for, just because just funds, but I knew that it would be fun to have a lens that fast. And when I mean fast, I'm talking about the f-stop being 1.2. That's a very fast lens, especially since it has autofocus. Some of these super fast lenses are going to be manual focus, like I think Nikon has a 0.95, and then you get some faster lenses in cinema glass. And I know that Canon in the past has had fast lenses that were 1.2 with autofocus, but I never used them. And so I wanted to try this out, and so I rented it, and it came in a couple days early, which was awesome because I was able to use it more than just what I had intended. The plan originally was to just use it for volleyball Friday and Saturday, and at the football game, where I found that it would be helpful or useful. And getting it a few days early due to FedEx sending it quick, I was able to use it for a few shoots at work and a shoot on my day off, which was Veterans Day on the Friday for the ceremony at the campus. So we're gonna jump into some of those photos I got with the lens. So here we go. So a few highlights of this lens: the aperture range is 1.2 to f16. It has a air sphere coating, ring type ultrasonic motor AF system. It also has the control ring that most RF lenses, if not all RF lenses, have, where you can make adjustments on the fly by using the lens. It has a rounded 9-blade diaphragm, and it's a RF mount full frame lens. Luckily, the R6 goes up to 1/8,000th of a second on the shutter speed, because on a sunny day at 1.2 with my ISO at 100, it still wanted to be slightly overexposed, which was fine because I knew I'd be able to bring the photos back in Lightroom by just bringing down the exposure and the highlights. So that wasn't that big of a deal. But if you're shooting midday sun and you want to shoot even on your exposure, you might want to get an ND filter to cut down the light that's coming in, because at 1.2 is allowing a lot of light in, which came in very handy for a lot of the stuff that I was shooting. A couple of the stuff that I was shooting were overcast outside, or the clouds were coming in and out. So being at 1.2 was awesome. I didn't have to really worry about the overexposure that much. So where I found this lens really shined was giving it that super shallow depth of field look for portraits, and just really separating the person from the background, which also comes in handy in sports. So when I was shooting volleyball from the side of the court, it came in really handy to shoot from one side to the other and still get that separation and that blurry background that you want in your sport photos. Also, I found out that it was very sharp for portraits when I got up close during the vet ceremony, or even was shooting further away and maybe wanted to crop in a little bit. It still was super sharp, which came in very handy with that super smooth background that was blurred out, and it was just so I guess you could say creamy, is what a lot of YouTubers say. This lens was amazing. I never found it hunting for focus. It always locked right on with the multiple different autofocus settings that I used on the R6. I went from face detection for some of them to 1 point to expand, and it worked great. When I was shooting volleyball and football, I never missed a shot due to the lens searching. I know in the past I've shot with a faster 50mm. I think it was a 1.2 or 1.4, and it seemed to hunt a lot. If it missed focus, it would have a problem coming back to the subject. But with this lens teamed up with the R6, the autofocus worked flawlessly. Now I will say this lens, for being a prime, is very, very heavy. Being a 1.2, you got a lot of glass in there to allow that much light, and it's a very big lens, but it felt good in the hands. My hands aren't that big, but it fit my palm just fine, and it felt comfortable working around and walking around shooting with it during volleyball and the other shoots that I used it in. So I wouldn't say it'd be too clunky to use for even a wedding. I feel like this lens for a wedding on video or photo would be amazing. Speaking of video, I did not get the chance to shoot any video with it. I was just really honed in on trying to get some good photos with the lens and walking around with it and use it in different scenarios. And so I took it to work and I took it to the volleyball and everything that you saw, and I just didn't have time to switch it over to video and really test it out. So maybe in the future I will rent it one more time and get some video tests. So maybe I'll rent it for my wedding that I have in a few months that I'm shooting video at, and I'll use it as my my tight lens, because most likely I'll be using the 24-70, but if I need something a little further, maybe the 85 is the move to get those really shallow depth of field shots for that video, but we will see. But with that said, I love the lens. If you're looking to rent a lens or try out a lens or a camera body or a flash, Lens Pro To Go has a lot of decently priced rentals. I've been renting from them for a couple years now, and after you rent so many, you get a free rental. After I think 7 rentals, you get your 8th one for free. So not a bad deal if you're trying to try out some new gear and just see what's out there that you might not be able to spend the money on, but you want to try it out. So with that said, I'd appreciate it if you would like and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.